Back in. Obviously, whoever wins the White House is going to set next year's agenda for Congress, and President Obama is making his position, for example, on Medicare clear. Here's what he said on the campaign trail.
And I want you to hear me now, I will never turn Medicare into a voucher.
David, is that a pivot? And if so, is it smart to pivot away from the jobs numbers?
Oh, it's smart to pivot away from the jobs numbers. It's smart to poke at Paul Ryan for the main issue that got him on the ticket and that people are paying attention to. It's essentially the president seems to have both sides have plenty of ways to pivot and plenty of things to poke at. They'll sort of poke depending on the day. You'll probably hear the president himself do what Mr. Larson just did a few minutes ago and call on Congress to stick around before too long and poke at that for a day. I think it's fair to say, and I think the congressman probably would concede the point, that Democrats and Republicans alike have known this was coming for a long time, have known that they all want to go home in early October and spend a full month campaigning. Mr. Larson's side has just as many members that are eager for that extra time on the campaign trail as the Republicans.
Mitt Romney, meantime, making hay of another issue, and that is the flat Perry overtaking God out of the platform at the DNC. Let's listen.
I will not take God out of the name of our platform. I will not take God off our coins, and I will not take God out of my heart.
If the last election is a guide about independent and late deciding voters, they do tend to be more conservative, middle of the road to conservative. They tend to be white, middle class. Is this a smart move on his part?
I suspect that move was more about motivating the Republican base. What you saw at the end of the conventions was the Democratic base, particularly if you were in Charlotte, was very fired up. And I think this God issue particularly inspires Republicans, evangelical Christians, the kinds of voters Romney needs to turn out in really big numbers. I think this is more of a play toward getting that base to really turn out in big numbers than it is to swing voters who tend not to care as much about kind of religion's role in politics.
Perry Bacon, David Hawkings, great to see both of you this morning. Thank you.